Hey y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another video. So this is going to be my TBR for the month of June. We are halfway, just about, as of tomorrow, halfway through the year of 2024, guys. I swear, this year is just flying by. The older I get, the quicker it seems like the years fly by. But now that I'm sounding like an 85-year-old man instead of a man in my mid-20s, let's get into it. Got a couple things that are going to roll over from the month of May. We're going to start off with Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. I'm still reading the ARC Advanced Reader's Copy that I was nicely given by the publisher over there at NetGalley. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. By NetGalley to review. So I know this book didn't come out till the 11th of June, so I've kind of been reading a little bit, but trying not to get too far into it just because I don't want to have the review up too quickly or finish the book and then wait to do a review and, forget stuff. So gonna be finishing that. I'm also going to be finishing Confessions of a Puppet Master by Charles Band. I honestly expect to finish the book this weekend. Thus far, I can promise you guys, I love this book. I am absolutely enthralled with it. Just kind of seeing the, just the life of Charles Band and how, certain events led up. I just read the chapter where he talks about making the first Puppet Master movie and whatnot. So very, very much enjoying this. I can't seem to put this one down. So those are going to be my two that are rolling over from the month of May. I put a couple three polls up on the channel in the community tab for y'all to vote on my westerns that I want to read for the month of June. I did put one in there. It's not really a western, but it's a Louis L'Amour book. And I need to get through my 100-something Louis L'Amour books that I have. So I put up there, and this one was a huge winner, and that was Sitka by Louis L'Amour. So essentially what I gathered about this one is it's about a gentleman that goes up to Alaska when Russia is running it and whatnot, and I believe he's on a Russian ship or something. I don't know too much about it. I just know that it doesn't really sound like a Western, but it's one I've been wanting to read. I just kind of been holding off. There's just so many of his books that I want to read. I've kind of mostly been focusing on the Westerns, but I figured, I'll throw this one and see how it does. And it pretty much won in a landslide, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm very, very much looking forward to getting into this. Again, Louis L'Amour talking about Alaska and the Alaskan terrain. That sounds awesome. Kind of sounds like a more modern pirate-esque story with some Western themes thrown in there. So again, very, very much looking forward into getting into that one. The other one that won, and this was my Zane Grey poll, was Wanderer of the Wasteland by Zane Grey. Essentially, I believe this one, let me read the back here real quick. I believe something about, from kind of reading the blurb real quick, I believe this gentleman kills his brother or gets in a gun battle or something and flees and ends up finding a vein of gold, and the authorities are behind him, chasing him and whatnot. It's another little bit of a chunker for Zane Grey, but it sounds very interesting, to say the least. Zane Grey, and I forget who it was talking about how Zane Grey, one of his strong suits that I realized and noticed while reading, Riders of the Purple Sage, but I had to have somebody point out for me to realize it even more, was that his description of scenery and landscapes are just awesome. They are on another world. So, if he's fleeing and going to different areas, that makes me excited to read the scenery. And I've never been one to care a whole lot about scenery. Like I want to know what the scenery is, but I'm not one that says, paint me a picture, which is really funny being a Stephen King fan, because that man does love to paint himself a picture of what the scenery is sometimes in his book and explain quite a bit of stuff. But again, very, very much looking forward to getting to another Zane Grey book. Again, I can just tell from Riders of the Purple Sage, he's an author I'm really going to like. So I'm trying to collect his books when I come across them. If anybody out there is feeling generous enough to send me some, let me know. But you know what, guys? Again, very much looking forward into getting into that. I had a third poll up for Louis L'Amour because I wanted to kind of read a couple of his books a month and get into, a little bit more into his discography or whatever you want to call it, further into his books. And it was a tie. And I didn't want to pick one and have some of y'all out there say, well, you didn't pick my book. Not saying that anybody would do that, but it was a tie between The Man Called Moon and The Rustlers of West Fork. So looking at that and realizing that as a tie, what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to hold off on these and put these on the next poll, for the end of this month for July. But if I'm able to get to them, I want to. There is a book that I had recommended to me by my stepdad that I had recently bought, and I figured, you know what, let's give it a try. It is a Dean Koontz book, if you can't tell. I've never read any Dean Koontz books. I started his Frankenstein parable. I think I got like a third of the way through the first book, and I put it down for whatever reason. I just remember flying through the first third of it. But that book is Mr. Murder. I'm not even too sure what this is about, to be honest with you. I think it's about what is this? Let me see here. It's about an author, I think. It sounds kind of like a Stephen King-esque book. And I remember in elementary school when I was reading Stephen King books. Yes, I was reading Stephen King books in elementary school. Should I have been? Probably not. But you know what? I was desensitized. I grew up watching scary movies, guys. Come on. I remember a teacher always recommending Dean Koontz to me, but I just never picked up any of his books. But like I said, my stepdad recommended this book to me, and I figured, you know what? Let's give it a try. Hopefully I like it and I fly through it so I can get to one of these other Louis L'Amour books. But like I said, I want to read this and give it a shot. I have a stack of books out next to my couch on my little stand near my seat that I want to try to get through this year by the end of the year and read. And this was one of them. So I figured, you know what? We'll throw this in there. If I have time at the end of the month or later on this month, I'll read these and whatnot. But again, guys, I'm sitting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books that I'm going to try to get through this month. Granted, I am a part of the way through one and almost near the end on the other. So I guess really it's like 3. Like I said, I'm hoping that I'll finish up quick enough. I figured I will with the Louis L'Amour and the Zane Grey novel, so I could pick up one or both of these. But again, guys, that's it. That is my TBR for the month of June. Let me get the thumbnail there. That is my TBR for the month of June. As always, I do appreciate y'all stopping by to check out my video. Let me know in the comments below, what are y'all reading for the month of June? What are y'all's TBR list? Do you do one or just kind of pick a book up and mood read like I normally will do? But I'm going to try to stick to this TBR as best I can. Again, let me know in the comments, guys, and y'all have a good one.